Alright guys, welcome to heaven, where God lives. I'm just going to do a quick video, and you've seen the title, it's Morons, and it's not about these two people that are in this picture at the beginning of this video, although it's debatable. It's about something else, so we'll get into it and I'll talk you through what's happening. Now, we know the guy on the right, it's Tommy Robinson. I don't agree with everything Tommy Robinson does, but he is quite factual on most of the stuff he does. The guy on the left is Ali Dawah. I don't know if I pronounced that right, Dawah. And he is stalking Tommy Robinson a little bit. And you can see lots of videos from him. He's got his own YouTube channel. I'll probably link it in at the bottom so you can have a look at it. But let's get into what's happening here. We all know how YouTube works. You put one video on and it spirals into the next video, and you can leave it all day and you'll go around things that are related to the first video you started with, and then you can end up on something that's absolutely nothing to do with what you were originally looking at. So I eventually got linked into a video by Ali Dawah where he catches up with Tommy Robinson, which he's been saying for a few months, and he catches him outside a building and starts unleashing his Muslim nonsense on Tommy Robinson. Now, Tommy Robinson's fairly well educated in religious nonsense as well, so he fires back at him and they start to have an argument. It's not a debate about who's right and who's wrong, it's just two men shouting at each other nonsense, reeling off nonsense that they know in the street, both of which believe is right, and I have no problem with that. But I found it boring and it sounded like just two stupid guys arguing, so I did this. I left a little comment from God saying, two blokes having a stupid argument that sounds like nonsense. All religion is stupid, which I truly believe in. Never thought note of it really, I didn't even remember doing that until a couple of days afterwards, or maybe the day afterwards. I received a notification that I got a reply on something that I'd said. So I presumed it was one on one of my videos, but turns out it wasn't. It was a reply on this comment that I wrote on here from Mohammed Mansour, and he said, I'll remind you, I put two blokes having a stupid argument that sounds like nonsense. All religion is stupid. Mohammed Mansour said, why is stupid? If a religion give you an answer for why we are here, when we go after death, only stupid thing here is you. So I replied and I put, you're not going anywhere special after you die, you'll be dead. Animals don't have gods and they don't travel to a special place of worship. Where do they go when they die? And he said, God the good one. Every living thing has a god, even plants. Plants have a god. Everything gets judged upon their intentions. Religion is not stupid. Stupid are the people who use religion for their own gains, like King Henry did with the Bible. So obviously I replied, and I put, plants have gods, ? Plants told you that? That's even worse than believing in religion, which is actually truly my belief. So Mohammed Hussein came back and said, God the good one didn't know plants could communicate with humans in our tongue. Is that what atheism taught? That's just bonkers, isn't it? Atheism taught you nothing. It teaches you nothing. So then Mohammed Mansour came back. You try to believe that we are going to just die. If that's real, it's fine for me, but the problem here is probability that there is a God. Yeah, I don't believe that. I'm not going to read it all out. Then Adam Mackey came in and had a little of a dig at Mohammed Mansour. You can read all this, I'll link you into it all. And they had a little argument. And then a guy called For True God came in, said the Quran speaks about scientific facts. Here are some of these. And then reels off some scientific facts that are in the Quran. I'll leave it to you to read them. Obviously they're not facts. And then I'm going to skip a load of this. it's a great little story, but I'm going to skip a load and get to the end where they start getting factual. Okay, so Mohammed Hussein said, does salt water and fresh water mix? And for them to know this 1400 years ago, it has a lot more scientific fact, not things that will happen on Judgment Day. Big difference. I'm sorry, this don't make sense. He does write like he's not English, so he probably isn't. Doesn't it always tell you that a child is formed in a mother's womb? Bear in mind, 1400 years ago, we only found out about water not mixing with salt water. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get it. So I put, what on earth are you talking about? They mix. He put, God the good one, please educate yourself. There's clear evidence that they do not mix. And yet you talk about scientific knowledge and religion, and you don't have none. And I put, they mix. The mix. Rivers run into seas. Waters mix. There is no barrier. Then he told me there is a barrier. So he gave up on that argument after I told him he was talking shite. And then I'm going to skip forward a little bit to the best bit. Then a guy who calls himself on YouTube Osama bin Laden. So what I mean, that tells you everything about him, doesn't it? It's hard to be an atheist on your deathbed. He said that to me, and I replied, not really, because if everything religion tells us is true, God will forgive me and all of my sins. Luckily, I have no sins because I use my own common sense to be a good person instead of reading it in a book. Then Mohammed Hussein came back. God the good one, you only believe in evidence and facts. Prove that you came from your great-great-great-grandmother. Prove that your great-great-great-grandmother was alive. And show us facts that she existed. Why would God forgive you and give you chances when you never gave God a chance? Okay, so then I came back and said, he would forgive me because it says it in your books that you read. The same book that you guys believe in every single word of. I know my great-grandmother is real because I have pictures of her. And I know my great-great-great-grandmother was real because I've got pictures of her too. And then he said, that's 5 generations of your family from 1700. Your great-great-great-grandmother, when camera didn't exist, your family must have been time travellers. Okay, so firstly, I did go back and say this, but firstly, cameras were invented around 1840, 1830, and 5 generations of anybody's family, bearing in mind I'm God, so 5 generations of anybody's family could be in 1 century. And mine happened to be to about 1834. So he's factually wrong again on that. I said, seems a bit odd, but my great-grandmother was alive in 1984, which is true, which means, and she lived to over 100 years old, or just over 100 years old, which means she was alive in 1884. Why did that take so long to work out? Then Mohammed Hussein came back, said, I didn't want to see pictures of your family, because I said, do you want to see pictures of my family? And I said it was weird, and he said, I want to use your family's time machine. It seems to me that you're not very good at maths. Now, he was saying that it had to be 1700 when my 5th generation away from me was alive. So one of us isn't good at maths, and it's not me, Mohammed. I put, you're too dim to have a computer, mate. My great-grandma was born in 1884. My great-great-grandma was 20 years old, meaning she was born in 1864. My great-great-great-grandma gave birth when she was 29, meaning she was born in 1835. So cameras were invented somewhere around then. So there's a picture of her. Granted, she looks a bit like Queen Victoria or something, but there is a picture of her. And then he came back and said, if 10 generations back on your family you don't have proof, then did they exist? Oh, this is getting boring. So I thought I'd come in here and do a stupid boring video and rant to you, because I'm not going to reply to him anymore because he's mental. But I guess the point of the video is, it doesn't matter if you've got facts for religious people, because they are so brainwashed that they will believe it. They believe that every single thing that they've been told is true without investigating it. Just take it for granted. They'll just look in their book and they'll see that that's what it said, so that's true. Now, not even Star Wars followers are that stupid. They know it's not true. People who watch Walt Disney, they know it's not true. The thing is here, they will not believe that it might not be true. Back in the day, they could have told them any old story. They could have told them that the dinosaurs were the gods and some of them could speak. And if they put it in a book, these religious nutters would believe it. It wasn't, the comment was not about religion. The comment was about these two guys having an argument. Instead of actually talking to each other, they were just reeling off facts to each other. And I got rid of the video straight away after like a couple of minutes, because like, this is boring and that, you know, nobody's learning anything here. But I just wanted to share with you the rant that this guy's having. And I've replied to him for a couple of days now, but I am bored shitless of him now, because you can't teach people who are brainwashed anything. Goodbye from heaven.